You show me what you got. I'll tell you where to put it.
I'm pulling them right now because it feels good.
Oh, I mean, Finnan really is a fucking babe. I mean, the accent.
Welcome back, beloved pot coven. Today we are bringing you part 2 of our holiday special, and we are going to be talking about Christmas traditions, activities, and the like.
Yay.
Yes, we are. We sound so excited.
I just have to be honest, like Christmas, Yule is probably my least favorite time of the year.
Yeah,
I
same.
don't think you're alone.
Yeah, I have a pretty like Grinchy attitude about Christmas, I'll be honest. Like I start hearing Christmas music and I'm instantly grumpy. So shopping in December is very hard for me. I'm like, I want to get out of this fucking store so bad. I usually take my headphones with me because it irritates me that badly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I do kind of despise Christmas. I really do. I'm coming to terms with it more now as an adult. But yeah, when I was like in my late teens, early 20s, I was like, fuck this shit. Because we're Americans, and quite frankly, Americans do a good job of just monetizing and ruining everything. So, you work some retails in holiday or some holiday retail seasons, and you're just like, I'm done. Fuck this noise. I don't want to fold anything ever again.
The only holiday retail I've done was for Michael's, the craft store.
That actually kind of sounds nice.
It was a good time. It was fun.
I'm sure you're covered in glitter, though.
Yeah. My stations were like the kids' craft station and like the figurines and the yarn. And the yarn was in the back of the store, and I would just go hide in the yarn section and like rearrange stuff.
I like that. Yarn is nice. Yarn's a nice, cozy craft item.
It was like dark back there too. I was like, wow, we're really shafting the yarn people. But hey, when someone needed to know where some yarn was, bet your fucking ass I knew where it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To bring it back away from how grinchy I sound. I'm also PMSing. But yeah, one of my favorite holiday things is giving gifts. I fucking love an excuse to give people presents. I don't like the expectation, but I like the opportunity. I'm like, I want to give people stuff, and here's my chance.
How do you feel about being given stuff?
It's a little awkward especially if I don't have something for that person. Like if I hadn't planned on giving somebody something and they give me something. Like a friend of mine just donated to my business, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to like send you something. Like, what do I give you? And they're like, just chill. I'm just giving you money because I want to. And I'm like, fuck, okay, if you're sure. So, but I'm again, it's one of those things with age where I'm just like learning to be like, just say thank you and just appreciate it and just use it. And like, when you think of them and you think of how grateful you are, and then be like, hey, I was thinking of you. Thanks so much for this thing you got me. I love it. So practicing gratitude helps me feel less guilty about getting stuff.
I've always traditionally been not good at gift giving, which like I have one friend, Alex, who is like the best gift giver. It's her number one love language. She's very good at it, and she often gives like I don't know how she saves up to give people that she loves gifts, because they're good. They are good presents. And she'll always tell me that I'm good at gift giving, but I'm like, it's not the same. You think about it so far in advance, and you have all these ideas, and they're heartfelt and creative, and they take time. And I'm the bitch who like, it's the day before my sister's birthday, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, you're supposed to buy presents for this occasion. Like, how many years have I been alive? So it's something I've been really working on. So I actually was done almost completely with my holiday shopping in November. Like I started on the 1st, like, okay, what am I getting people? In October, I started like brainstorming what I'm getting people. So
Smart.
I've been really trying to get better at it, because I love getting gifts. I do love getting gifts. I love receiving gifts. I'm excited to see, like, even as you get older, and it's like, we're adults. Like it's not like being a kid and getting a gift. It's not the same. But it is fun to see, like, all right, what am I going to get? What kind of books are people going to buy me? Like, I'm excited for it. But I do have to admit, being a Capricorn, Scorpio, Aquarius person, I really, really hate people watching me open gifts, because I have zero reaction. Even if like I have to be like really shocked like by how much I like it, or like just shocked by it in general to have a reaction. Otherwise, I'm just like, thank you. even if I'm like, yeah, this is great. I can't wait to use this for many years. But there's just like stone face, and I just feel uncomfortable. Like, I don't know how you want me to react. I don't know how to react. I just want the present. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like I have to overcompensate my reactions. I have to be like really excited if someone's watching me open it. Like, even if I am excited, I'm just like, I feel like I have to like overdo it. Like, oh my God, I love it. Thank you so much. If I died right now, I'd be like so happy. Like, I just have to like go overboard about it. And I'm like, just chill. Just say thank you and move on. Why is your brain like this?
So my family hasn't done a traditional gift giving in quite some time. I would have been like early stages of high school, maybe. They do this thing called White Elephant.
Ooh,
and
yes.
So we all get one gift of like $10, and then we play this game on Christmas. Sometimes you get some okay stuff. Oftentimes not really, because it's all very like Christian geared with my family. So I don't know. Gift giving just isn't. I don't know. My kids are going to get gifts, and that's probably about it. And I'm going to pay for a retreat that I'm going to for myself. So fuck the rest of you.
No, I like that. That's a really nice self gift. Because, yeah, we're kind of the same way, where we like really focus on the kids, and then it gets down to the wire, and we just look at each other. We're like, oh, I didn't get you anything. I'm like, oh, I didn't get you anything either. Sorry. So we usually do tandem gifts. Like last year, we bought ourselves a fire pit. And that was like our parent gift, was we got a fucking fire pit, and we love it. We've used it all year, so no regrets there.
That's like become an integral part of your guys' Druid family practices.
Well, exactly, yeah. It was something very necessary, and because, you can't just keep digging holes in the yard every 6 weeks, so...
That's true.
Anyway, it saved the grass quite a bit of woes this year too, so we're pretty stoked on that. But yeah, gift giving can be pretty tricky, especially this year. Like the last couple months, I've been like, oh my God, like how am I gonna make this work? How am I gonna send anybody anything? And as a crafter, my number one go-to for like sending my family stuff, like my parents and my siblings and my cousins and all that, is I'm like, I'm making you shit. I'm sorry, tough noodles. Or sometimes I'll pick up like, some local goodies, because I come from a family of like chefs and bakers and restaurateurs and like, people who really just love cooking and love food. And so I'll send them like exotic salts from here, or like, fresh herbs, or, like just different little items that I think are cool. But yeah, it can be stressful. That's for sure. The pressure.
I mean, it's also so hard. I mean, yes, as you were talking about, like the over commodification and just the materialism of it, there's this expectation to just spend so much money and get so many presents, which in years past, that was also the thing. It was like, if I start early enough, then I don't have to buy all my presents in one, and then I don't have to like overcharge my bank account or something, like I can space it out and get people gifts that I want to get them. Because in years past, especially with me, December hits and I'm like, oh shit, maybe I should have thought of this ahead of time. And it's been really tough. And that's like not what this season is about. It's not supposed to be about not having jack shit. It's supposed to be about, inviting warmth in and joy in. And sometimes American Christmas just don't do that.
You know what I did one year? I'm not proud of this. I took out a $1,500 personal loan right before Christmas.
Oh.
You are not alone, I'm sure.
No, you are not alone.
No. But I had a really good job at the time, and it was like in between pay periods, and it was the same bank that my car loan was going through, and I was like up to date and beyond on my payments. So it was like not there for very long. I paid it off fairly quickly, but like I'm very disappointed in myself that I got to that point where I was like, yeah, let's just do this.
Right. Well, I mean, so many people do, and so many people, I was going to say have to, but like, yeah, I mean, there is this pressure.
Oops.
It's all right. What would it be without some background noise?
Right.
We always need something to spice it up. So in my research of gift giving, I found this episode a little bit harder to research in truth. But I saw it dated back to Saturnalia, which I was talking about in the last episode as well. But I didn't find anything like super interesting out about the like act of gift giving this time of year. Like it's always been something that we've done. And like, you know, of course, how we do it now is not at all like how they used to do it. You know, it was more kind of like what you do, Ella, like, you know, to a certain extent where it's like, oh, I have bread. I'm going to give people bread.
Yes.
Because the you know, the wheat harvest was very good this year, you know?
Well, and I remember, like, I think it must have been at some point in, like, maybe late elementary school or early middle school, but, like, learning about, like, how, because they were like, hey, this Christmas stuff is not how it used to go. People used to, like, make dolls for their kids or, like, make pajamas for each other. You know, like, where the more close you were, like, the closer your relationship, obviously, like, the more someone would put their time and their resources into giving gifts. But people did not, like, drive themselves broke. Like, I've literally worked in holiday store or in stores during the holidays where people will, like, take out a store credit card and spend, like, $2,000 on it. And then be like, haha, don't show my husband. I'm like, hold on. What did you just say? Are you hiding all of this from the other half of your household? Because that's probably not a good idea. And I'm just, you know, I'm like, let's be simple. Let's take it on back, you know, like let's tone it down a little bit. So I seriously enjoy. Well, and I like being able to put my own little personal touch on people's stuff. Be like, I made this, and now it's for you, and, like, I was thinking of you, but I didn't give it to you when I made it, you know, whatever. Like, you kind of, even though I had these ideas, like, as I'm making them, it's kind of cool to, like, go back and be like, oh, I thought of you while I made this, you know, like, I made it a couple months ago, but I was thinking about you. So I like it. I like giving the stuff I make. And so far, no one's been like, fuck you, stop giving me your shit. So far, so good.
I would never.
Yeah, exactly. If someone gave me something they made, I'd be like, wow, thank you. Like, you know,
well, you
like,
make some pretty cool shit anyway.
Well, thank you. I try to make it pretty.
Like that is also what you do, is make stuff. You're not just like, what can I do? I don't know. I'll just throw some shit together over here. Never done this before. Here you go. Here's a gift, which is also fine. But, you know, with you giving people things you've made, it's like, well, that is your business. So.
Yeah, and I like it. It's fun.
So I did find a little bit different origins of gift giving. Not specific dates, but Saint Nicholas, which is like kind of the origins of Santa Claus, at least in part. It's not fully Santa Claus. But he was a bishop in Turkey, and he would regularly give people things. And his day was the 6th of December. It wasn't Christmas Day. He had St. Nicholas Day. And he's actually noted for saving a group of girls from prostitution by throwing bags of coins in their window so that their father could pay their dowry.
Aw, that's actually sweet. I like that.
And so that was adopted to kind of like keep children in line, to be like, oh, Saint Nick is gonna come bring you presents. And so that was adopted into like the more modern Santa. However, that wasn't really a thing until much later in America. America was actually who coined Santa Claus.
Shocking.
Shocker. Yeah, I think surprised. It was like 1930s, wasn't it, when that was like the Coca-Cola Santa? I mean, the name Santa maybe predates that, but I think the like iconic look that we have for him now traditionally is, I want to say, around the 1930s.
Yeah. The red and the robes and the beard and all of that was a thing, but the specific color of red and the jolly fat man, that was all Coke.
Yeah. I don't think he got fat until Coca-Cola. It's America. Don't we all? It's a problem. Yeah. A lot to read into there. What was I going to say? Oh, I saw a TikTok that made all these claims about how Christmas is actually a homage to psychedelic trips. And it had a lot of information in there, but they was talking about the red and white because of the certain type of mushroom. I saved it. I'm going to put it on the podcast Instagram story at some point, but I'll wait till after this episode comes out.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
They brought up some convincing points, but I was also like, it was just funny because I'm like, I have been sitting here doing research about the origins of, December holiday traditions, and I have not seen any of this, but I'm compelled by what he was saying.
I'm the same way. Like sometimes I'll hear a theory and I'm like, you crazy, and then I'm like, wait, back it up. This is not as far out as I originally thought.
That's also the thing too about researching for these episodes is just like we don't really have hard facts for any of this. Well, I mean, like some of them there's like enough evidence, but it's like, yeah, we don't have a whole lot of exact dates or exact regions or how exactly, where exactly, why exactly. But there is a lot of historical evidence of all sorts of things, but it is a lot of just like, ooh, this kind of snowballed over many centuries into what it is now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's easy to see, like, when you back it up. You can kind of be like, okay, I see how it got to where it is now. Just kind of like, yeah, the way that humans have progressed is we've gotten steadily hungrier over the years for just everything. Like, we need more food and more drinks and more substance and more gifts.
Right.
But it's still fun. I think it's still nice. If you feel compelled to give then if you feel compelled to keep giving gifts, I think that's great. Like if you like it, if it brings you joy, I'm all about it. But when you step over into being like obligated to buy like 26 of your cousin's gifts, like sorry, no. That's too much. It's too much. That's what the feast was supposed to be for. That's what having like a Christmas dinner or a Yule feast is kind of supposed to be more about, is that like, oh, we love our family, we're here to gather together, and so we're going to share food. We each make something nice, like that kind of thing. So I think it's all like in that same spirit of giving, but we just, we like to take it out of control.
In America, we like to do it big. I like to do it as big as possible and spend as much money as possible. That's a big one for us, of course.
When you're young, though, that doesn't really like cross your mind. You're just
Yes.
So I grew up in a split family. My stepmom's family, they're very consumerist. They're very American, and so they will have Christmas morning at their house every year, and they all buy each other these elaborate things that they don't really need, like appliances, electronics, multiple gifts. And we would go there with my dad and my stepmom and my little sister, and everyone would get, I don't know, at least 10 different gifts. And then we'd have like me, my brother, and my sister, since we're not like family, since I was, oh my gosh, I was between 8 and 10 when we entered into this family. And they would give us one thing, and it was usually like a little jewelry box that sang or something like that. And then I'd watch my little sister open up 10 different gifts that were like, oh, she just got the new Furby, and she just got this new electronic thing, and oh, she just got an iPod. So it, as much as like my love language is not gifts, that's probably like on the last tier of my love languages, it was still very much like, well, I'm not really a part of this family, and I can see that in how you're choosing to spend what you do have.
That's another hard point of this holiday too. Is just like people make their choices with like usually the best in mind, but a lot of times you either will like not think of someone, or like in my family it's usually like the men who kind of get not passed over necessarily, but they'll get like one or two things each, whereas more of like the women and kids get like lots of shit, So it's very like clear, kind of like the way that the hierarchies of your family kind of come out in the season of who's getting what and, all that. So I like kind of what your family does, where you just like each spend 10 to 20 bucks, buy one thing, and then play a little game, and like that's cool, that's fun. But yeah, I I can see how that would also, like, growing up kind of damage your receptivity to gifts, being like, meh, I don't know if I feel good about this, you know? Because I'm kind of that way too, where, like, getting gifts, like, gift giving is low on my totem pole of, sorry, I didn't mean to say that, low on my priorities or low on my love language ladder. But I think it's because I've always felt so much guilt and, like, shame just around gifting or receiving. Like, it's always been such a weird activity for me that it has become something that I'm like, I don't like it. I feel awkward when you give me stuff. I'm sorry. So I can see how that experience would kind of ruin the fun of gift giving and getting.
My Libra mother loves to give.
Oh, I bet.
It's quantity over quality as well.
Oh God.
Always has been. And I like that was something that I had to deprogram out of me, like, somewhat recently. Just like, no, it's better to buy one pair of nice shoes than like 4 pairs of shoes that are way cheaper that you're gonna just burn through and then end up in a landfill. So I always got a lot of gifts on Christmas, like a lot, like more than a kid should absolutely be getting. Also, a lot of gifts on my birthday, which is 2 weeks after Christmas.
Oh my.
And on my brother and sister's birthday, I got on-birthday gifts. Well, like we all did. Like, you would get one gift on your brother and sister's birthday.
That's cute.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good because then there was something to focus the kids' attention, because like kids are selfish because they kind of have to be, and they're also just like raised to be. Like, you come out of the womb and you can't feed yourself. Well, you kind of can. You just attach to the nipple. You got to help someone get you there. You can't wipe your own ass for many years. Like, yeah, of course you're gonna be a little selfish. So the unbirthday presents were nice, but yes, gift giving is like probably third on my love language list for receiving. And as I said, I'm working on giving as well, being just better at it. I like doing it. I'm just not good at remembering it. But also, like, part of gift giving is, like, if my boyfriend is like, look, I found this flower. It reminds me of your hair. I'll be like, oh, thank you. Like, that's a gift, So once again, just bringing it back to the idea that doesn't have to be something big and crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
This Power of 3 episode has been brought to you by Tonic Vibes CBD products. Tonic's original CBD blends are handcrafted in small batches with purposeful plant-based ingredients. Using herbs like ashwagandha and superfoods like black seed oil, Tonic elevates the benefits of CBD to create a powerful way to heal the body, calm the mind, and restore balance. Their hemp-derived CBD and botanical blends create a completely holistic method to help you feel your best and #FixYourVibe. Use code WITCHY at tonicvibes.com for 10% off your order.
This episode of the Power of 3 podcast is brought to you by Shock Rubs, because sex is magic. Shock Rubs is the first crystal sex toy company. Their sex toys are made from natural crystals that bring a sense of sacredness to your playtime. These beautiful handcrafted tools are created with the intention of opening oneself up to the healing properties that crystals provide. All toys are body safe, made from the earth, and provided with love. They create harmony in mind, body, and spirit, remove blocks caused by sexual trauma, create deeper intimacy with the self and with your partner, and even encourage self-awareness and mindfulness. So use the code WITCHYWISDOM on shockrubs.com at checkout for 10% off your purchase today.
So let's talk about wassailing.
You read my mind.
Yes.
Read my mind.
All right, tell me all about it.
I don't have.
When I was in the 5th grade.
Oh, you went wassailing?
No, but we sang this song in choir, and so we learned a little.
Wassailing.
Yeah, we learned a little history lesson, which I'm sure isn't the full because I was a 5th grader. But that song gets stuck in my head regularly without ever having to listen to it.
That's hysterical. We did in the 6th grade, we did Good King Wenceslas, which is like not a super popular Christmas song, but I still remember most of the lyrics to this day, and I can pull them out whenever I need to, which is not often. I only pull them out to entertain myself.
I find it interesting because, yeah, like middle school and high school, I was here in Hawaii, so of course I did not hear, I've never heard of wassailing until you guys are bringing it up. Seriously, never heard of it. But I find it interesting that when I lived in Iowa, no one ever thought of it because they're very like throwback in time. Like they love, boy plus girl marriages and going to church on Sunday and like drinking Coors Light and shit like that. Like they're very traditional.
I'm just still laughing at boys plus girls marriage.
I don't know. It does
like
sound weird saying it that way, but you know what I mean. You get what I'm saying. If you had any other interest besides the opposite sex, they were like, no, it's a phase. We're not gonna let you go to hell. Don't worry. But yeah, I've never heard of it, so I'm interested to hear about it sounds German, and so does that song that you mentioned. Sounds kind of German.
So I'm gonna go first with my wassailing information because I want to say that I think Jess might know a little bit more than me. I only have like a few notes on it, so I'll share what I've got. Wassail, what I was looking up, is a strong drink. It's ale plus honey plus spices and mulled cider. So this is what they would use in some traditions on the Yule log. So we talked about how you would cover it in alcohol.
Oh,
so you'd use the wassail. Wassail, not sure exactly how they want me to pronounce it. And you could also use it on certain cakes, It's Old English for wassail, which is two different words. And when you drink it around the Yuletide or Yuletime, Yuletides, whatever, you would say wassail, and the other person would say drink hail, which means drink and be well. I thought that was fun. So that's what I found out about wassailing. But I was reading other stuff about the side of it that is like singing and other activities.
Mhm.
I just personally did not take notes on it. So passing it off to you, Jess.
So it is a drink. However, for a long time, they would go door to door singing more or less Christmas carols, and that's where the song "Here We Come a Wassailing" came from. And so when they would show up at your door, you would give them a bowl of wassail, and then they would go to the next door, stumbling around all drunk and singing some more songs for some more drink and beverages. But this was originally an orchard visiting time. Like people would visit orchards and ancient customs, visiting cider producing regions of England and reciting incantations and singing to the trees to promote good harvests for the year to come.
So what you're saying is this was the olden days wine tour. Now it's just a bunch of white girls on a bus together going to different wineries. But back then it was walking, and you also had to sing to the trees.
And it was fucking cold.
Yes, and it was cold as shit.
And modern day has been taken over by regular caroling with no alcohol. I'm sure there's some alcohol. I know when I went trick-or-treating last year with my kids, there was a door. I went up there and they're like, would you like they had paper cups and they were filling them with hot rum. I was like, yes, please. Yes, please.
Bro, yes. That is how you do trick-or-treating.
That's what's
Don't lose your kids, though.
Right.
That's also how you should do caroling. If I'm going to sing out in public to random houses, you better be giving me some wassail.
Maybe it's just being a 21st century American, but I cannot imagine the allure of caroling. I think I'm not bored enough to want to do that. You know what I mean? Like if I were more bored, like if I had less to do in my own home, I'd definitely be like, yeah, sure, I'm going to go around and sing these songs with people. It's great. But like now also, I'm just like, what the fuck? No.
It's like for choirs in church.
Oh, like actual choirs? It's not just random people just being like, we're going to go sing.
I don't know. Do you know any random people that want to do that aside from drunken karaoke?
Well, I mean,
I
when
do.
I was younger, living in Iowa, we would do it for like our church. We would go to like elderly folks' home and carol for them. And so in my mind, I was always just like, it was just random ass groups of people going around singing. Like, that sounds horrible. These poor homeowners had to open the door, listen to your terrible songs, and then
You
give
know
you
what?
something.
I kind of want to do it now.
But I wish we could be in person because we could do a power of three caroling. That'd be hilarious. I'll
That'd be
rewrite
great.
all the songs to be pagan.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. That would be amazing.
Just get thrown out of every town in East Oregon.
We could just bring our own drinks too. Bring our own waffles.
We have to go all the way to East Oregon. It's cold over there.
Yeah, because it's gotta be snowy and cold or something, right?
Just
I don't
pray
know.
for snow everywhere this year.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll just go up and down apartment buildings, knocking on doors. Hey, you want to hear us sing? They'll be like, no. We'll be like, that'll be $20. $20 to shut us up.
$20 or alcohol. Thank you.
That is a price I will gladly pay.
Right? It's reasonable.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever had someone knock on my door and just be randomly singing. I feel like when you see people caroling, it is, yeah, either choirs or church choirs. So people who just honestly want to sing. And usually in like public places, old folks' homes. Yeah. Maybe go into your kid's school. It's that kind of stuff.
Not the home of an old folk, but a place where a lot of them live.
Yes. Gather them together and we will sing to them. I remember
where they are cared for.
I remember being like in like second and third grade, and our music teacher, because we were in a small town Iowa, would arrange for us to go and sing our little performances at different of the old folks' home, and we would spend like a whole day on the bus hopping around to like the 2 or 3 old folks' homes in our town, just singing to everyone. And I was like, I fucking hate my life so much.
I used to do dance performances at old folks' homes. There was one time that this woman, like we would do like a couple numbers because I was on a competitive performance team in middle school. Yes. And so we had like a couple, numbers that we would go between. And so we were there for a while, and I had plenty of time to stare out at the crowd. And there was one woman sitting in a chair with like, she was straight up, and her head was just had like fallen back. Oh, mouth open. And the entire time I was dancing, I was like, oh my God, is she dead? I asked my mom afterwards, I was like, did you see the woman who looked dead? Was she dead? My mom was like, I think she was sleeping.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
I definitely did it a couple times, so that's my one memory from it, was that woman. It was a good time. My mom always enjoyed it.
That makes my neck hurt thinking about it.
Yeah, she definitely needed some physical therapy after that, I feel like. Who's letting Eunice just lay there in the chair like that?
She's wishing she's dead after that. She's like, my freaking neck hurts. Why didn't anyone wake me up?
She's probably like, God damn it, not another fucking kid doing something, trying to entertain us. I'm just going to sleep.
That's what I always wonder. I'm like, do they actually appreciate the company like the groups tell us they do? Or are they like, fuck, I have to listen to another 5th grader read this stupid book to me? I'm going to freaking throw my mashed potatoes around. Like, fuck.
So I did work at a retirement home, and like most of them, if they didn't want to listen or be entertained, they would not come out of their room.
Okay, so they don't just like force them to come out and like watch the little performances usually. That's actually good to know. I feel comforted.
At least not where I work. I'm sure there might be places that are like, you fucking are doing it right now.
Right, unfortunately.
Or the people who can't give verbal consent or non-consent, they're just like, okay, we're just wheeling you out here, Henry. And he's like, he's like, no, please don't do this to me. I mean, children's choirs are beautiful. That's always what I meant to say.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
One of the things
so
I hate the most in this world is children singing.
Oh, God. Yeah, no. I used to be one of those people. I was in like honor choir and shit. Like I had to sing extra, like not just what we were required to do in our school program, but like my music teacher was like, I can train you to sing stuff. So I was like a fucking monkey for her for a few years. Me and a couple of the girls, like we had nice voices, we were coachable, and she would literally like, yeah, put us in like honor choir, AP choir, like have us do extra performances, solos at our things. It was like a lot of pressure. So but it was kind of cool. Like my parents enjoyed it. They were like, "We love hearing you sing." And I was like, "Okay, well, I think you're the only one, but all right. Glad you enjoy it. It's all for you." It's all for you.
It's all for you. I was in honors choir, and I don't know how I got in there. I think you just needed another body.
I feel like most children can be trained to sing fairly well. You know, they have the vocal cords aren't fully developed. They're not set in stone. You know, like my voice now is a lot different than it was back then. So it's harder for me. Like I used to be a freaking soprano, and now I'm like, I can't imagine singing that high at this age. Like there's no fucking way I could hit those notes now. But as a child, if you gave
I'd
me
like
the
to hear you
tone,
sing.
I could do it. Oh God, no. I mean,
Please
I mean,
sing
you'd
us a
have to
Christmas
give
carol
me
right
something.
now.
You gotta give me some
Yeah.
kind of song to sing.
Sing the one about the holly.
What holly?
The holly and the ivy.
See, that's another song I don't
When
know.
they are both full grown. Da, na, 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 da, da. I don't know the rest of the words.
But the
think I've
holly
heard the
wears the crown.
Ooh.
Okay,
yes.
I think I've heard the instrumental to that song, but I like when you guys were talking about it last episode, I was like, I have no fucking clue what this song is.
I love this. You really hate Christmas songs. I
do.
loved Christmas
Yeah.
songs so much. I mean, just being a kid this time of year is so magical.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember like laying in my family's living room in our first house that I was alive for. And just like all the like Christmas lights that were around and the Christmas music playing. And I just remember being like so fucking happy to be alive.
Aww.
Oh, to feel that way again. Just kidding.
Well, I didn't hate it as much when I was a kid, because I just didn't recognize that there was anything wrong with it. But like the more that I, step outside and look at our society from the outside in, I'm like, fuck this shit. But yeah, I was very much one of those kids who would like lay under the tree just to see the lights and shit. Like I still love Christmas lights. Like I love the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I would put them up all year long.
I mean, I do keep up twinkle lights all year long, or like whatever you want to call them. Like
Yeah.
I have blue ones around the window in my office. I have orange and purple, and I've had orange and purple in my room for many, many years, but they're technically Halloween lights. But the exact same style of light.
Those were the only lights that I had for like 5 years was purple and orange ones, and I would use them for Halloween and for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Valid.
But I mean, the use of lights, that's a practice that's a part of, modern Yuletide celebrations as well, just because it's why it's so wonderful, is because it adds beautiful light into a very dark and what can be very somber time of year. So like that's, all the lights and all the green stuff is supposed to make you happy.
All that singing.
Yes. Well, and holiday or Yule solstice bonfires were actually a thing in lots of different cultures as well. Because lots of places are cold and snowy, but even still, like you can build a fire in the cold, but it was just that like acknowledgement of like going out into the darkness of, this, it's like what would have been 4 p.m. their time, and it's like dark as hell, so they're like, let's go out and encourage the sun to come back by building a bonfire.
They would either do that or they would hide in their homes from the evil spirits and demons that were out, because this is the darkest time of the year. So
True.
A lot of these festivities, in at least northern paganism,
Mm-hmm.
is solely to protect themselves and to make it into the lighter times.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what all like the greenery, the pine cones, the herbs and spices, a lot of that is as well for protection, because evil shit comes out when it's dark.
Right. But I mean, also the fire is supposed to ward the evil shit away as well, the purpose of illumination, being able to banish stuff in the dark corners of ourselves as well as the world around us. I'm excited. On solstice this year, I'm just gonna get like hella candles and just light a shit ton of candles.
Aw,
Like,
I
what's
love
up? Come back, son. I love you.
Is it Mirtha is the sun god?
That
I
sounds
think
right.
this would. So that is another reason why we celebrate Christmas on the 25th. So somewhere between the 25th and the 26th is because it was never set in stone until like 100 years ago or something like that. So they would celebrate the sun god. That was the birthday of the sun god.
Aw, that's cute. Well, that kind of makes sense because, if roughly the 21st is the darkest night of the year, you're not going to notice it getting lighter for a couple days. Like, it's not like on the 22nd, there's so much more light. It's not like that. So I can definitely see where, like, by the 25th, people are like, oh my God, like, it's brighter earlier, it's brighter longer, like, the sun's coming back. Get it. And solstice, I looked this up. It actually means, like, sun standing still, because it seemed like, it was pretty much seemed like it was in the same position for a few days, just doing the same thing, and then it would start to make its, have more of that increase of light, longer days, promise of spring returning, etc., that we all love. So solstice bonfire, it's a thing. Do it. I'm gonna bought my
Before
fire
we get
pit.
too far away from Christmas caroling or songs,
Ooh.
did you know that Jingle Bells was not originally a Christmas song?
What?
It was originally for Thanksgiving.
What?
Oh.
Did it have different lyrics?
I think that they were focused on different lyrics. I don't know per se if they were different.
I guess that makes sense because, I mean, you do really similar things, for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. You would be like, we're going to go see our family and we're going to eat. Ride our sleigh over there. That's interesting. Well, I'm glad to know that because I was always it always rubbed me the wrong way that Thanksgiving didn't get any carols and Christmas is like, we have like 80 songs for this holiday. I'm like, you missed one.
I was listening to a YouTube video on the History Channel with my daughter, and she heard that, and she's like, well, why can't we just give it back? Thanksgiving needs something.
Yes.
Thanksgiving has a song. It's like that dude who made Rebecca Black's Friday. He has like a bunch of different other songs. He always gets children to do it. I felt really creepy to say out loud, and now my mind is like, are we watching this guy? How do we feel about him? But anyway, to not get sidetracked too much, they have a Thanksgiving song that is just as equally just fucking silly as Friday. But, Jingle Bells is like a little bit more popular, so just kidding.
It wasn't originally known as Jingle Bells. It was originally a one-horse open sleigh.
Oh. Huh.
So the jingle came in when it got branded towards Christmas. This episode of the Power Through podcast has been brought to you by BetterHelp.com. BetterHelp is an online platform with licensed therapists who are ready to help you wherever you might exist across the multiverse. Now, you must be 18 years or older to use this service. And BetterHelp is not a crisis line, but you can start communicating with someone within 24 hours. They have financial aid available to qualifying individuals. This is a secure, convenient, and affordable platform for your counseling services. Use the URL betterhelp.com/witchy to get your first week free.
This episode is brought to you by Let's Get Checked at-home health testing system. Let's Get Checked is all about personal health testing, making healthcare and health screening open and patient-led, empowering people to use technology in a simple but powerful way, and giving greater control to their personal health. They have a range of tests, including STD testing across all genders, fertility tests, celiac tests, general wellness, and more. Use the code WITCHY on letsgetchecked.com at checkout for 20% off your purchase.
Jingle, jingle.
Okay. And
Nice.
those ringing of the bells, the reason we do that too is to ward off spirits, scare spirits when they hear bells. That's why you're supposed to put
Scares me away.
it's why you're supposed to put bells on your door. So that everyone coming in, so that nothing sneaks in when the door opens. Which my mom always had bells on the door for Christmas time, and it was like, I don't know, it was cute. I was gonna say it was a little annoying, but I don't think it ever really annoyed me. But she also was not doing it to scare away spirits. She just loves to decorate for a holiday.
That's why
how
I
my
have a
nana
dog.
is. So you can have a
Yeah,
bell.
dogs work the same function as bells for
They're
sure.
like, what the fuck are you doing in my house? Ruff, ruff, ruff.
Ruff, 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 ruff. My
Scary,
dog is
isn't that?
useless when it comes to spiritual stuff. Like, he's just fucking lays there. Like, Robert will every now and then wake me up and be like, hey, this weird thing's happening. And it's always with a child's robotic toy. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know. I don't know why it's always the toy, but it's always the toy. So we've started purging our home. Like, our kids don't even like them anymore. Like, talking toys. Our kids are kind of like, I'm kind of over this. I really don't like it. But anyway, yeah, he'll wake me up every now and then and be like, this toy is being weird. Can you, like, try to bless the house a little bit? And I swear to God, my dog just sleeps through all of it. I'm like, aren't you supposed to see shit? Or are you just being lazy? You're like, mom's got this. Like, help me out, man. What's up? That's why I refuse to call him my familiar. I'm like, you don't do shit.
He's like, you got everything on lock. I don't need to do anything.
Yeah,
I'm not a
man.
service dog. I'm a
Right?
pet.
Yeah. He's like, I am a beloved house pet. I am no one's messenger. No one's fucking. I'm no one's helper. But man, if you open cheese in the living room, he can hear that shit. Fucking dogs. Okay, so speaking of animals, one of the things I saw in my book, Hedge Witch Book of Days, was talking about like feeding animals. And it reminded me of this thing we used to do in like Girl Scouts where you would take like a little pine cone and you would roll it in peanut butter. You'd get it all covered in peanut butter and then you'd kind of like shake it up in like some bird seed and then go put it out for like the squirrels and the birds and anything that's not hibernating. But I thought that was kind of a nice thought to be like, thinking of the animals and of nature in general.
Yeah, that is cute. I like that. Feeding the birds.
Yeah, I remember my grandpa really liking them. My mom would always be like, here, make this and give it to grandpa because he'll use it. He was a bird watcher.
That's fun. Birds are cute. They're little freaks.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of birds, but I also like, I don't really hate too many creatures. But I'm just always like, just kind of stay away from me. You gross. You're mini dinosaur.
On our first date, Robert was talking about how weird bird people are, and like maybe like 2 months into dating him, he just was like ranting about birds. And I was like, babe, are you a bird person? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, you liar. On our first date, you talk so much shit about bird people, and you are one. I don't mind. I think he made me watch a bunch of YouTube videos of birds, like cockatoos are fucking silly.
Ugh.
Like they're
Real man.
Birds are robots. No, birds are little weirdo freaks. I'm like, I don't want one. I don't want a bird in a cage. That does not sit well with me at all. But
Yeah.
they're cute.
I don't know. I don't find them very cute. I've never been to like a bird person's house. I've never been to their house and been like, "Aw, this looks fun."
Dude,
I've
if you
never
watch,
thought that.
if
It's
you
always
watch
like,
some
I wanna get
YouTube
out of
videos of like macaws and whatnot, the ones that are smart, and like if it's a pet owner who like knows how to take care of birds and they like get to roam around the house, they're fucking funny, and like so many of them can
I believe
speak
that.
and they say like silly stuff. Anyway, they are. I've said it twice already, but they're little freaks, and that's why I like them.
Yes.
They're just
No,
like
they are
little freaky goobers.
I have a tattoo of a bird
Do
on my
you?
foot. I don't know what kind of bird it is.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't. Do you know why I have a bird tattoo on my foot?
It was a dare.
No. So I was watching Portlandia like when it first came out. So
Oh my gosh, put a bird on it.
Yes. I was like, I'm going to be art. I was like
So
23.
Oh God.
Put a bird on it. Oh yes, I love it. I love
Didn't you
Pomeranian.
post a meme around Thanksgiving time about everyone about to eat their Thanksgiving turkeys and me over here not believing birds are real or something? Me being like, they're not
Yes.
real. I love that. That was so funny.
Oh my gosh, I had so many people like, so what is that about? Do you really think that birds aren't real? And like, where did that conspiracy come from? And like, you'll never know my original thought because now you don't deserve it.
Oh, isn't that like conspiracy about like all the birds were killed and replaced by robots in like the Reagan era too, so they could spy on us?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean,
Now they're
I
all
wouldn't
bees.
put it past our government, technically. But
A lot of birds to get
It's a
rid of.
lot. Yeah. I mean, it's also just so much easier to surveillance us with all of our technology, so it's not really necessary to have the bird robots. But I do
Maybe
love
not in the
jokes about it.
Reagan administration, it wasn't as easy, but now it is.
yeah,
Now we
exactly.
really like, you want to know? Here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think it's funny because I have a lot of like hippie friends, and they're always like, "Oh, don't let the government control you. Don't let them know what you're doing." Yada yada. And I'm just like, you have a cell phone. If you have a cell phone in this day and age, you are constantly being tracked, listened to, watched, possibly hacked by people who aren't even our government. I mean, like, your shit's vulnerable.
You unlock your phone with your retina scanner.
I don't even have
Is
one.
that or face recognition? I think it's mostly
Face
Apple
recognition.
that has that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I got
okay.
it.
There
I
we
don't
go.
know. I'm not tech savvy enough to do that. Plus, I will not do that. But if you're doing
They got my
that,
face.
they got your face, they got your retina scan, they
Mhm.
can get into, I don't know what kind of places you're getting into with your eyes, but they're getting
Mhm.
into it now because they have your information.
Yeah, I tried to use my fucking thumbprint, my fingerprint one, and I I made sure that I did it good, and for the life of me, it will not recognize my fingerprint now, and I'm just like, well, you're fucked. You're all
Fun fact
fucked.
about that, I'm just full of those today.
Yay.
If you are arrested and you have a fingerprint scanner on your phone for the lock, they don't have to get a warrant for it. But
Oh,
if
they
you
just have to
yeah,
see
you
your
just,
finger.
but if you have a code or a password or any of that, you don't have to give it up without a warrant.
Thank you for that. That's actually helpful information. I mean, I don't plan on getting arrested anytime soon, but if I ever do.
You never know what's going to happen.
You never know.
Do you guys watch New Girl?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, have you seen, it's kind of an older episode. I mean, I guess they all are now, but there's an episode where there's this old person at Schmidt's work that he's trying to you know, get to quit or whatever for some reason. He's like being annoying and stealing all his ideas. And so they starts talking to Nick Miller, and he's like, "Nick, you still have a flip phone?" He's like, "Well, if you use it too much, then when the springs in the flip open get loose, then all the hackers can get in and see all your information and yada yada yada, and I'll just wait for the hard copy of things." And it was just so funny. I'm just like, that sounds about accurate for some of my favorite citizens of this country. I'm just like, just calm down. Like, they
Can you
can
just
see
print
it.
it out and mail it to me?
Right, yeah. It's like, they can already see all your shit, don't worry. But I tease my husband for being Nick Miller.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I
I
want to
married Nick
restart all
Miller.
my shit.
My sister definitely has some Nick Miller in her. When
Aww.
there's like one episode where he's talking about how he doesn't trust the banks and he keeps all his money in
Oh,
old
yes.
shoe boxes, and I just I think I watched that with my sister, and I just looked at her, knowing full well she has like a couple $100s in a pair of shoes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we all have a Nick Miller in our lives, I think.
Yeah.
I at least have my money in a safe
Oh, no, that's
in
actually
my
pretty
room.
smart.
It's a gun safe.
That's fun.
Ooh, is it a fireproof gun safe?
Yeah, so
Good
it's not
for
gonna
you.
burn.
Dude, I had a friend whose mom used to keep her savings in a bag in the freezer so that if their house ever caught fire, the money wouldn't burn. And I was like, that's smart.
That is interesting. I had a friend's dad who had like a 3-foot tall jar of coins.
Oh, yep.
So like no one could really steal it.
Yeah, it'd be the worst break-in ever.
Yeah, it's like I don't know how much was in it. I'm sure at one point in time I might have known like what the estimate was, and it was a decent chunk of change. Haha, pun not intended, but also accepted. But like no one could come in and steal that. So it was just there in that closet.
I would sure try.
It was
could
like as
see you
tall as
trying.
me when I first saw it.
Aww. I'm just
I've been
thinking of
working
short
out.
Jasmine.
I'm
I've
gonna
been
come-
training for this moment.
I've been trying
I'm going
to
to steal Jasmine on accident because they're the same size.
Yeah, how much can you bench press? You got me?
I got you. And if I'm lifting with my legs, a lot.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any more. Well, actually, no, I do have one more thing to add. Just that like I was looking up like, okay, what are Yule traditions? Give me some articles about that. And it was interesting to see that like all the Yule traditions that I was finding for like modern Yule were really just like very much your modern New Age spiritualist, where it was like plant some grass, meditate, create a Yule altar, which that one I liked. I liked a Yule altar, having candles,
meditating.
cones. Yeah, well, like it's all stuff that I like, but it was like
all
this
Yule.
sounds like any kind of ritual. But I did like the ideas for the Yule altar, and of course lighting a bunch of candles and a fire if that's applicable for you, having an actual bonfire or fireplace fire.
Yeah.
Fire is always acceptable.
Fire is always good.
I was
Burn
actually
it down.
do it. I was actually
about
kind
it.
of thinking in that same vein of just like, yeah, kind of like returning to origins. And one thing that we did last year was we simplified our Christmas tree or, our holiday tree. So instead of putting like, plastic balls all over it, I mean, we still had a few, but like we really like just cut it down. We made a star out of like forest twigs for the top. Like we really just we tried to go very like, yeah, like we tried to kind of return it back and still give it that like homemade, homegrown kind of feel, So one of the things I put on my list was making ornaments, because you can now buy those little fillable glass or plastic balls. If you have kids or pets, I would recommend the plastic ones, even though I'm not crazy about plastic, but if it's just going to shatter and give everyone glass shards in their foot, I'm not about that. But yeah, you can get fillable little balls where you can put like herbs or flowers or dried twigs and stuff. You can put little wishes inside. You make stars out of cinnamon, out of twigs, all kinds of fun stuff. But yeah, definitely giving it a shot to make your own little holiday ornaments, I think is fun.
That's cute.
We have pine cones on the tree this year.
Ooh, I love that. That is awesome. I'm down with that.
That was also the decorating of the tree period, which was like 20 to 30 minutes, was the only time that I will turn on Christmas music willingly.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I'll turn on the holiday music if we're doing the holiday activity. I'm like, okay, sure, this is acceptable. But I also contradictorily, I don't know how to fucking say this word. I think I'm trying to make it too much. In contradiction to not
There you
liking
go.
Christmas music, the classic Christmas movies from like our day and age, like the Santa Claus and the Home Alone movies, like I honestly like love the shit out of those movies. I think they're great even
great.
still. They hold up. I'm like, fuck yeah, I love this movie still. So I've been making my kids watch those.
I'm going to put on some Christmas metal.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, I am into that. I like that a lot.
Hark how the bells, sweet summer bells.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm also probably going to listen to a lot of like Nordic metal, just because that feels very rooted in all of this too.
You're like, Heilung, yeah! They're German. I know. Sorry for all you Heilung fans out there about to fucking roast me. Send us an email at Power3.
They're not.
Oh, they're not German?
No, that word actually means like healing or something. And no, I don't know if one or multiple of them are German, but it's German, Finnish, and Danish.
Oh, okay, so
And
they are a mixed band.
Yeah, and they read Old Nordic, Germanic, whatever, all those different, they said from like the Iron Age, and there were like 3 different ages. And they read the runes in the old, writings and incantations and stuff. And that's what their songs are, them reciting that in like poetry form, and it's all supposed to be like very shamanic and healing.
Oh, I really enjoy that, especially because they have kind of that like harder sound that I like.
Yeah.
So I'm
It
down with
almost
that. That's fucking cool.
it almost sounds creepy because it's a lot of chanting and like whispery, but like deep to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I was listening to that after my breakup like 2 weeks ago, and it felt very healing, and I felt very connected to like my roots and things, and it just, I don't know. I was in the shower by myself, and we've talked before on the podcast about how showers are kind of a scary time. Close your eyes, you don't know what you're going to open up to. And I was just like meditating in the shower, listening to them. And it was great.
I love that. That's actually really nice.
Is this a band?
Yes, it is a band. It's spelled Heilung. But yeah, they're kind of rock-ish as a genre,
They
I would
generally
say.
play at like metal festivals.
Yeah. Yeah, they're beloved by the metal and rock group
But they play
folks.
human bones and different
Whoa.
kinds of drums and things like that. So they're like, they make their tune. It's all in the act of healing. So like they focus on the frequency of it and like why they're using the tools that they're using.
That's really cool. They're a lot more in depth than I had imagined. I also really like Faun, Faun. They're really good. I guess I would say like pagan-esque kind of band. They do lots of music that kind of correlates to like solstices and equinoxes and fire festivals and etc. So a couple little music recommendations there for all you folks if you haven't heard of these little bands. I'm excited that Jasmine's about to get on it with Heilung.
How do you spell it again?
Heilung. I'm pretty sure I'm spelling it right.
I believe you are.
Okay.
I know.
There we go.
If you don't love it, we can't be friends.
Chris Calder. Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
Yes. So very exciting. Check both those bands out. Tell them we sent you. They don't know who we are, but tell them anyway.
Maybe one day they will.
Give us
Oh my
a good
God.
recommendation, guys.
Their costumes are like really awesome.
Yes,
Like
that is.
meat and
Mhm.
bones and furs and so cool.
That's how I first got roped in, was because, my husband really likes to listen to different types of music. I'm the kind of person who will watch the same movies and TV shows over and over again happily and never watch anything new or listen to anything new. I'm just like that. But he's always like looking for new shit, and we were watching some lady, I forget her name, it's like Shireen or something like that, but I think she's one of the singers in that group or just has music that's like them or whatever. And yeah, we turned on a video with them and I was like, what is this? I need more of this in my life. I need these kind of costumes. Dress me up.
So they refer to their performances as rituals.
Dope.
Tight.
So you're saying we have to go to one together.
Yes. Yes.
And then we'll carol all their songs everywhere we go. Ha!
Yes, that is exactly the takeaway.
Yes.
Vengeance is mine. Holiday vengeance.
Holiday vengeance is mine. Amazing. I love it.
You really do sound like the Grinch. It's okay.
I mean, that's one of my all-time favorites. Jim Carrey's Grinch from the
Dude.
early 2000s.
Yes.
I quote that movie all the goddamn time. It's a fucking classic. That and Elf. I fucking love Elf.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I love Elf. That one's so funny. I always, every time I see a fucking like mall Santa, I'm like, it's Santa. It's Santa. I know him. And people are like, okay, that happens every fucking day. Get the hell out of here. I'm like, I know
You're
him.
not original. One time my sister, like the phone was ringing and my sister was like, pick it up and say, Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? And I was like a middle schooler. Obviously, I don't like to answer the phone, period. And she's like, no, I swear, it's my friend. Just pick it up. And so I was like, okay. And so I did it. It was her friend, but still, I was like unsure because my sister used to like to lie to me just to see what I would do. Not in a cruel way, but just...
Curious.
It just interests her, and I'm relatively gullible, so yeah, it was a good time. Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? Stefano. Just kidding. We don't need to start just quoting movies. Okay. Anyone else
We
have anything
could,
else
though.
to bring to the table?
The rest of this episode is just us quoting movies. You're welcome. No, I think we we talked about some things. You guys have your own traditions too out there. But yeah, hopefully you'll want to include some old-timey stuff maybe if it sounds cool to you. Make some spiced some, what is that called? Mulled wine, spiced wine, or some mead or whatever. We are going to talk about some more fun holiday stuff in the I'm actually really excited about the next episode because, spoiler alert, it's about consumables, and I fucking love all things eaten and drank. Maybe not all things, but I enjoy eating. Eating is one of my hobbies.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy drinking, so.
Well, there we go. We're the perfect pair. Well, we got this holiday by the balls, guys. Got it by the balls. Jess will bring the fire. I'll bring the food. You bring the alcohol. What more do you need?
Nothing. Perhaps an animal sacrifice.
Or perhaps
Not
a
a trial.
subscription to our Patreon where you can find our video grimoire, where Jasmine drops a monthly astrology forecast video. There's discount codes in there for shops that we're affiliated with. Yeah, lots of goodies in our Patreon. Go sign up for that. We also can be found across the web, across the universe. On Instagram, we're at Power of Three Podcast. Same with our Facebook. I don't think we have any other social media. That should be about it. And don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, comment, send us emails, send us your thoughts, and tell us how much you love us, and to tell us to keep doing this forever because we want to and you want us to. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We will catch you next time, and peace out, witches.
Bye.
Goodbye.